Your head doesn't look dumb. Dude, you should just shave your head. And just go full, like, bald with a beard.
I don't...
I
I
think
gotta
you
wear
could
this
do it.
weird because I got the headphone. Do I look good?
No, you look awful.
Do I look
You look ugly.
worse or
No.
better?
You look fine, dude. You look like you're wearing a
Yeah.
beanie.
Okay.
Oh, we're in the
Okay.
building.
Yeah.
Look
Cool.
at that.
Dude, you look like you go to the ski hill.
Well, I do.
You got a
I used
Vans.
to.
You look. Yeah, you
With
look like
my
you snowboard for
All-weather
sure.
Vans.
Vans hat, because you're like, dude, snowboarding's like winter skateboarding. You did actual winter skateboarding.
I did actual winter skateboarding. I was thinking about, because we were talking about like things to put on the wall. I have a whole bunch of I have like my old pro model boards. I was
Dude.
like, that would be kind of a
You
cool
had
thing.
like a board that was your board, right?
Yeah, I had my name on it, had a little bear on it.
Like
Because
the
I'm a gay man. No, because Bjorn means bear.
Excuse me, not at that point. I don't.
I
believe.
was not.
yeah,
I mean, you
that was
were,
back
but
before
you
you
just didn't
turned
realize.
gay.
Dude, I was going.
That was before the liberal media got.
Yeah,
I know.
he's watched CNN a couple times. Here
No
he
joke.
is.
This is. I don't think I've ever told anybody recently about this. But,
Are we
I like that
recording or?
Yeah, oh,
did-
yeah,
is
yeah,
this-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted my first tattoo. Oh yeah, this is off topic.
Off
size
topic.
10. I'm Bjorn RG. You can find me on Instagram at SkateCub and on Twitter at Bjorn RG. I might tweet one of these days.
Oh, cool. I'm Nick Scalzone. You can find me on Instagram at Nick Scalzone Comedy. I do have a Twitter. I don't use it. It's a bunch of shit that's embarrassing and from high school. And now you're gonna read it. I scrubbed it
You're
a while
on
back.
private too, aren't you?
You're
I don't.
private.
Am I?
I think I had a request. To
Oh,
follow
cool.
You. Yeah.
Even better.
Ooh.
No, the last tweet that I actually tweeted was in the beginning of April 2020, and I said, March has never gone out more like a lion, and I do stand by that one. You know, March
Yeah.
goes in like a lamb and out like a lion.
Oh,
That's when
yeah.
COVID started. So I was like, it really went out like
You
a
got those
lion.
deep Jesus cuts. On
That's
the-
not,
on
is
the
that a
Twitter.
Jesus-y thing?
Anytime people start talking about like lions and lambs, I'm like, this is either like Rasta
I thought
Jesus or
this was
regular
just the
Jesus.
thing about the weather, where they're saying if March is nice at the start, it's gonna suck at the end.
Well, I just try to keep the reason for the season in my mind.
Hmm.
March is not Easter.
And the reason for the season is always the Lord.
It's
Yeah.
always the Lord.
You are,
Savior.
yeah,
Something religious.
you're exactly right.
We're
Terry.
doing something kind of funny today. The reason for the season on this episode of Off Topic is
Mhm.
we've been talking a lot about like where we want to go with the show and like what we want to do with it. And we're going to try something new today. We're going with Heat
Yeah.
Check.
Heat check.
All
Yeah.
right,
Heat
we're-
check,
We're going to try
yeah.
Heat Check. And should we get into like a big explanation or should we just
A brief explanation
brief
would be
explanation?
10
All right.
seconds.
Basically, we're going to talk about stuff, and we're going to have some music in the background. We're going to do a round robin, and that's it. We're
nice.
going to find out.
We're gonna do
about-
off the dome ad reads for people that don't actually sponsor us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
w-
haven't
But we're not
even-
always gonna say that every episode. We're saying it this time because
Heat
our
check.
listeners, we want to keep you in the loop. But the new listeners, we want to pretend we're bigger than we are.
Yeah, maybe we'll get an overlay at some point. Maybe later, and then I will add it in post
Mm-hmm.
that says heat check.
Yeah.
We're dressing for the job that we want, not the job that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also we're gonna do it real high production value style. Let me see. So, who wants to go first?
Bjorn,
Everyone looked at me, so I'm going
I
first.
think you should go first because I feel like you're the least invested in this product.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll explain the product briefly because I brought it.
No,
No.
that's what the segment's
How
for.
dare you?
Wait.
How dare you?
Can I just tell them what it is?
Nope.
Or are you telling
We're
them
about
what
to
it is
find out
in the ad
three
read?
different 30-second
Okay.
spots.
Okay.
They're gonna have
so
three
here's how it goes.
opportunities.
We have music, so you start, and then you got to wrap it up by the end of the song.
Okay.
It's like musical chairs. If you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
sitting in the seat, you're out. Bjorn, you want to take one last look at the label? See what you're working with?
Oh, I was just gonna read it. I don't even remember
All right.
what it is.
Take it away.
No. Hey, tenors, it's your boy Bjorn here to talk about Alphaline. I already said it wrong. Alphaline Brut Rosé. You can only find this at Trader Joe's. So if you're dressed like Nick is right now, head on down to the store that they dress just like Nick. Did you just get off of a shift of Trader Joe's? Because that's what it looks like you are. This is Brut Rosé. I'm done.
That was good. That was
All
good.
right. Maybe we'll get a little further on the next one.
All right, Nick, you want to get straight into it?
Sure.
All right.
Hey, size 10 listeners. Do you want to look like you drink expensive champagne? Like your champagne choices match your shoes? But you don't want to spend any more than $7.99? Then head on down to Trader Joe's and get Opaline Pinot Noir Brut Rosé. The bottle looks kind of like a pineapple, and the cork makes noise, and that's pretty cool. And I drink Busch Light, and this tastes great to me. So get it. It's fucking great.
There you go. Perfect timing. All right.
Are we?
Oh, we had to go for the big handoff. Show
Professionalism.
us up to the camera. All
Big
right.
ol' studio.
I'm not prepared for this, but here we go.
Neither were we.
All right. Hi, tenors. Nice to have you here. Do you have a holiday coming up? Special celebration? Do you really want to see somebody smile when they don't want to? Well, maybe think about picking up a bottle of Opaline Pinot Noir Brut Rosé. I'm pretty sure that's 3 different types of wine all combined in one, which means added value. You can get this at Trader Joe's. Say hi to Nick when you get there, and steal some everything seasoning on the way out. Thanks. All right, guys, what do you think?
I think you really nailed it on the end there.
I think Trader Joe's owes us some money.
So, $8.
$7.99, dude.
It says product of France, not from the Champagne region, though.
I don't care
so then
about
it can't
that.
technically be called champagne.
That's why
Isn't
it's
that
called
how that
a
works?
rosé French
Sparkling wine.
French rose sparkling wine. Yeah.
Rosé.
So what's 11.5% alcohol? That probably should have been in one of our pitches.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big selling point for people
Yep.
looking for cheap booze.
Mhm.
And why don't you? I'm gonna hand this back over to you.
So I missed a part that I wanted to say in mine, and it's
Okay.
killing me.
Yeah, what?
As I wanted to say, do you like a headache? Is your name Bjorn? And do you like? It's like the opposite of Tylenol for me. Rosé is.
Rosé is.
Yeah, or just most wines.
It's like
in
a good
general.
Tylenol. What's it called?
Like if a Tylenol removes a headache, this is going to guarantee that I have one possibly through the next day.
For days.
It's the appetizer to the real
Well,
entree of Tylenol.
how much of this does it take for you to have a headache?
Dude, well,
Like
the
one
last-
glass and you'll
I
have a
had
headache?
One of those rosé all day cans. You
Well,
know?
if you drank it all day, then
No. But it says like that's what it's called. I think. You know the can.
But it's like a
rosé,
like a 12-ounce
Yeah,
can.
and it was super gay. It was the gay one with all the flag, all the colors represented.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I am gay, so
You're
when
like, well,
in June or whatever that it was.
But if it's
I drank
12%
one,
alcohol
I didn't even finish it, and
in
I
a
was like,
12-ounce
I already
can.
have 12-ounce can.
of,
It's like
of-
drinking 3 beers.
yeah, that's like
Oh, it
3
is.
or like 2 beers.
I mean,
'Cause
That's
12%.
more than one.
No, if it's 12% alcohol, this beer is 4%. So that's
so
like
it's
2
3 beers.
That's like 2 IPAs
Oh.
worth of alcohol in one beer worth of.
Oh.
Wine has a lot more alcohol, and wine is full of sugar.
Well, I drink it the same way.
A can of wine is also
It
2
sounds-
glasses of wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when you go to the bar and you're like, let me get a glass
well,
of wine.
I didn't finish it because I got a headache, and I was like, well, this is
Yeah.
done for me.
Well,
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, wine definitely
rosé
has-
gives me a headache, and champagne gives me a headache. So, like, I'll cheers with it, and
Yeah.
I'll sip with everybody, but then I give it to someone else or just ditch it.
yeah. No,
'Cause
I got
just,
this for
I
New
just know
Year's
that about myself is it just champagne just gives me a headache.
because it's
But what about a French rose sparkling wine?
I've never had a French rose, but I do have a story. I'm trying to think if this is appropriate to tell. It is. Here we go. Back in my snow skate days, I was traveling with some friends, and we had the people we were staying with. One of them worked. This was in Montreal, Canada.
Okay.
And one of the guys that we worked or that we were staying with, like one of the roommates of our friend, he worked at a wine. Like an online wine review company.
ooh fancy.
And
Those are those people
So-
that make up the shit that it's supposed to taste like.
I guess,
Where
yeah.
they're like, I've got
Well-
notes of cherries,
well, they-
and it's like, well, it's made out of grapes, so
they
you're
had
out of
done
your
a-
fucking mind, dude.
Yeah. So they had done a wine party, a wine tasting party. And if you've ever been to a wine tasting party, which I still have not, they'll open
Oh,
bottles.
don't they like?
They don't finish them.
Yeah, they each have a
They,
little
like,
tiny
spit
bit and
them
then
into a
spit it
little
out,
thing.
which is disgusting.
Yeah, they don't drink much of it. So there was an after the wine party where all the dirtbag friends got to come hang out at this wine place
And drink the
And
leftovers.
finish
drink.
off the.
So we were supposed to just finish the wine that was opened, and I don't like wine, and my friends were like, perfect. Bjorn's driving us home. So I stayed sober, very outside of Bjorn. Everyone else got
Around
wasted.
wine drunk people.
Yeah. So my friends all got super drunk, but then they ended up breaking into the like vault of wine and opened
The
all
cellar?
the cellar.
Yeah.
Well, it was like this room. It was a cellar, but it was like we're in this like office building.
Yeah.
And it was just wine everywhere. But they broke it. I was like very uncomfortable with the whole thing.
Well, yeah,
'cause I
those
was
bottles are expensive.
totally sober. But we didn't really know. It wasn't like there were prices on anything. But we knew the ones behind the locked door were probably worth a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
My
think that's
friends
a
went
fair
in there
assessment.
and they were like the ones that looked the most expensive they all got opened. Like they opened a whole bunch of one. And they were all just completely wasted.
Yeah.
And then we left, and my friend ended up. So the guy that I said we left, we
Yeah.
actually got kicked out.
Well, yeah.
Because the guy
Tracks.
that brought us there, his girlfriend and my friend started making out, and it was like almost like in a movie or something, because they would like make out, and then he would like turn and they'd break away. And then he would literally be standing right there, and he would like not be looking, and they'd start making out. But then as the night progressed, they both got really drunk. So then they weren't so good about stopping making out. And he saw, and he got real upset, and he told us to leave. And so I went and got the car because it was in the city. It was like parked really far away. I got the car, I pull around, and my friends stole so much French champagne and like we Googled some of these bottles. They were like some of them were $1,000 bottles of
We
like,
need to never
champagne.
disclose the name of your friends
I'm not
because I
going
don't
to.
think the statute of limitations is up.
I'm very conflicted.
This
on
is like-
That's about 10 years ago.
Okay.
What's the
This is like a
well,
literal.
no, here's the part.
crime.
Should I say the illegal part of it?
You
Everything
just
that
said
you just said is illegal.
if you're stealing $1,000 items, that's like a
you broke
close to a
into
felony,
wine
if not a
cellar
felony.
and stole and like
isn't a felony
vandalized-
robbery
No,
just based on
Here's-
the value
Here's
of the product
place we
you
were
steal?
like,
It all
is
depends
this
on how much the-
illegal? We then brought them back into the United States, which I think we were supposed to disclose that.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like with those.
But honestly, that's like the least. That's
so we
the.
broke all kinds of laws.
I guess you did steal them in Canada, so that doesn't. And they don't matter.
I'm very conflicted because fuck anybody who's got a wine cellar stocked with like $1,000 bottles of champagne.
Well, they were a wine
No, if I was
review
really rich,
website.
I would 100% do that.
Yeah.
I like fancy shit. I have a podcast about materialistic tendencies.
Yeah, but I'm on it too. So like it's got a spectrum.
Yeah, it does, but I mean, I get that.
But I guess
I would be quite annoyed if a bunch of dirtbags showed up and stole my wine.
But they didn't show up. They were there for an event. So
they
this
were
is where I'm
invited
like,
to drink leftover
Yeah.
wine,
Yeah.
which is what you give to peasants like them.
Well, maybe you don't let the peasants on the farm if you're so
I
touchy
know.
about the champagne.
Ugh.
I think that what you guys did is incredibly dumb and fucked up.
It
but
is dumb.
it couldn't happen to a better place. Like if you were like, yeah, man, we went to someone's house and like just ate all their food and
Oh,
drank all
yeah.
their shit. I'm like, that sucks. But like this, they're not sweating it.
It's gonna be.
No,
fine.
they are fancy people with a wine cellar. So you probably didn't that wasn't their retirement savings that you guys
No, it was
plundered.
it was like
And
a
not-
wine.
I
it's
don't
like
really
they
include
probably
you in
got all
this.
of it for free because they were just review. They would like review
Yeah.
wine.
Oh,
online.
okay.
That's what they did.
Like how we review shoes on this show.
Kind of.
Yeah, they might have paid for some of those
So when
bottles.
did the free shoes start showing up?
Right, I know, right? When we stopped talking about crimes that we did on the podcast.
Possibly that
I
could
didn't
be.
I guess I was just kind of the baby driver of it, you know?
Yeah, I don't
'Cause
blame you.
I actually didn't know about it
Yeah.
until after we got back into the country because they knew if they told me, I get so nervous around the border crossings regardless.
Yeah.
My friends would make fun of me because I get really nervous. And I think I know why. It's because when I was a baby, So my mom told me about this because I told her, I was like, God, I get so nervous. I don't know why I get so nervous at the border crossings. And my mom's like, well, it's probably that time you got the multiple times I've been quarantined or whatever it's called, where they like pull you
Detained.
and they put you in a room where like there's like the rooms that you
Detained
see. Yeah,
is the
detained.
word.
Yeah,
Thank you.
detained is definitely
I've
the
been
word.
detained multiple times at the border.
As a baby?
As an adult too.
Oh, okay.
Because I get so nervous, I think that they think I'm doing something wrong even when I'm not, or just dumb things. So what my mom told me is she was driving back to like Marquette, Michigan, and do you know where Marquette, Michigan is?
No.
It's on the UP, so
Oh,
it's like
okay.
pretty much in Canada.
Yeah.
She was driving, so you can go down around a lake and then back up, or you can cut into Canada for like a hot second, get there, and then cut back into the U.S. Because it's like, I hate this. What's the thing with, they're like, all right, so this is Michigan, and then we're up here. It's sort of like that.
So there's a bridge from the top of mainland Michigan up to Canada.
There's a big old lake, and you got to go down and around it. Or you could just go.
If you want to stay in the U.S., you
above.
got to go through Wisconsin,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like through Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Or you can just go across to Canada and back across. Yeah. Okay.
So my mom was doing that.
Yeah.
But she didn't have paperwork for me. And this was a while ago, so you didn't need it.
Yeah.
But my dad wasn't there, so she didn't have. You have to, if you're crossing with one parent, you have to prove. You have to have like a note that says like permission from the other parent. But it was like 2 a.m, so my mom was like, didn't think about that, and she was just trying to save time to
She
get
looks
home.
like a child abductor. 100%.
Right. So they thought that they were that she was abducting me. I believe it was coming back in, not going into Canada. Into Canada was fine. It was one of those. But they detained me. They put me in this room. It was 2 a.m. I was asleep. They woke me up, and then they were yelling at me like, "Is this your mom?" and blah blah blah. And I just was crying. Like I just cried. And then they had to let my mom in, and she like said the questions and like calmed me down, and then like I answered, and we ended up being fine. But I think that traumatic experience of being isolated, being pulled out of my car seat
at 2,
and like
waking up
like,
at the age of 2
questioned.
to random Canadians shouting at you.
it seems like
Yeah.
that might be why I have a little bit of fear of
I think it's that seasoned with the fact that they can just completely butt fuck you for any reason at any moment, whenever they want.
yeah.
Now, the flip side of that is one time I went to Canada with my dad. We saw a little ranger station or whatever, and no one came outside, so we just kept driving, and it set off an air raid siren, and then we like stopped, went back, and they were like, "What are you doing, A?" And we're just like, "I don't know." There's like nobody here.
Going in.
And they're like, "You need to stop at the border. This is Canada." And I'm like, "Yeah, you guys didn't come out. Like, we legitimately tried to." And then we were just like, "Oh, I guess it's a slow day at the border." But they, same thing. I was like, "Oh, here we go." Like, they're going to search the car. They're going to do.
Yeah.
No, they were like, "What's your business in Canada, eh?" And I'm like, "We're going to go snowboard." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Have a good time." And I'm like, "Cool, thanks, detective." Fucking put your fuzzy hat back on.
I always got detained on the way back in all the times as an adult. One time I was by myself, and I had gone to go snowboarding with a friend that I had met online on
Blackplanet.com.
Yeah, on the Silk Road.
Yeah.
No, it was like a snow skate guy, and we were snow skaters. We talked all the time, and so he's a good friend of mine, and his name's Jordan. And I'd go visit him, and we'd go snowboarding, and so that's what I was doing. They didn't believe me because I was like a teenager or whatever. Nice. And
close.
so I got detained for that. They like put me in a room or whatever, and then the other time was when I was a teenager the best one though was when I went through with my uncle. He had never gone through. My dad got married in Canada for some reason, just to be exotic or
Dual
something.
citizenship, baby.
Yeah, no, not dual citizenship, just to be like annoying.
Yeah.
My uncle didn't realize that Spokane, Washington wasn't that close to like where it's like he should have flown right in. And
Still
his
in
flight-
my head, Spokane is right next to Canada,
It's
and then I
pretty
look at it
close.
on a map, and it's a solid 100 miles south.
It's a ways.
What's above that?
Well,
Like, what is that
Racist,
piece of Washington?
mostly.
Yeah,
Eastern
Well,
Oregon?
mostly.
yeah, I know.
A lot of don't tread on me
yeah.
territory.
Oh, I
mean
I
northern
know
Idaho?
the northern Idaho
Yeah.
stereotype. You know, I wasn't talking about who's up there. I want to know what,
So-
I think
because
it's
it
them and
seems like it
trees.
might be some beautiful country.
Absolutely.
Like of all the clan rallies in this country, those are some of the most scenic.
Those are the
Oh
destination
my
ones.
God.
Yeah, very scenic hate
They
up
like,
there.
We like to mix a little bit of grandeur with our racism.
Yeah,
and,
we like to hate people on a nice vista.
Yeah.
So
Look at some rocks.
Washington?
This story's, you guys, this story's worth it, and then we
Okay,
can
okay,
talk
okay,
about
okay.
whatever. I know it's going a little long. Okay, so I was going. My uncle is dumb. He booked his flights weird. He needed a ride back to Spokane on my dad's wedding. He booked it the evening of the wedding. Didn't realize how far away it was. He thought he could just fly out after the wedding, but I was like, no, that's like a 4-hour drive. So he, I don't know, doesn't know geography or something. So he needed a ride. And it was super awkward because I wasn't a fan of my stepmom that he was married. They're no longer married, so I can say that, I guess. Wasn't a fan. I wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible, so I volunteered to drive him back. But so a couple things where I messed up. I didn't realize I had my dad's passport, my stepmom's, my brother's, and my stepsister's all were in the glove box. Totally forgot about that because I took my dad's car back.
Okay.
I think on the other border they call you a Quixote for this.
So that was in the glove box. That was the bomb that was in the glove box that got us detained. What got us suspected was when we pull up. My uncle was like really uncomfortable. He had never left the country in his life, and they said, "Hi, please stay in your vehicle." He said, "What?" and got out of the car. And then they were like
damn it.
alarm bells went, and they were like, "All right, you're going to pull into this garage." And so we pulled into the garage. We had to like keep our hands, and they were searching the vehicle. So they were searching the back, and this woman reaches under the seat and then pulls out just like what could only be like a whole pack of gummy bears that had just collected dog hair and melted into like one solid gelatinous
Just
thing.
one giant
She stuck her
mass.
hand in it. And I remember her pulling it out, and it was just this gross, like huge lump of
lump of gummy
goo
bear and dog hair.
and dog hair.
Oh,
and just,
that's revolting.
and whatever's, and she's just like, "What is
actually-
this?" I was like, "I don't know."
That sounds like an act of terrorism to me is what that is. I would have detained you
I
too
was
if I
like-
saw that.
I think it's candy or something.
How old were you?
I was probably 23.
Oh
something
yeah,
like
that's big
that.
criminal age. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see why they would.
So
Be all over you.
so the lady starts to put it back. I was like, no.
You're like, you can keep that.
Just throw
Put that in the
away.
trash. That's
one's on the house.
fine.
revolting.
That's your punishment for searching us.
Yeah.
But we did get in a lot of trouble when they found and then we just explained the whole thing. And then, I mean, it was only like my uncle was almost late for his flight because of how long we were at the border.
So, once you said, "Oh," you explained the whole story. They were like, "Oh," then it would make sense that you have your whole family's passports in the glove
I'm like,
box.
I'm going back later, and then I'm gonna drive with them
They're
back
like
in.
hell you are,
I
brother.
was like, they were like, "Why do you have all these passports?" And it was like, "Well, that's my dad's." And they eventually believed me.
Well,
But
I'm glad you didn't do the thing that everyone, that people tend to fuck up, which is don't make jokes with the Border Patrol.
never.
Like, this is the thing. I've heard so many stories of so many dickhead uncles that are just like trying to
yeah,
really like spin a yarn or like
Totally.
make the Border Patrol laugh, and they're just like, "Yep, pull over there," and
Yep.
like 4 hours of your life gone because
Oh.
you just had to get that little fucking
Yeah.
quip off.
my stepdad got our car searched because one time we were coming because we lived pretty close to the border.
Yeah.
We'd go up skiing. There was a bunch of
You
ski
go up to,
areas
like,
right
Fernie
there.
or
Yeah,
whatever?
we'd go up to Fernie or
I've heard Fernie is dope. I've never been up there.
Nekiska or there was one that was Lake something. I can't remember what it was. Anyways, we'd be like going up through. My stepdad we were coming back, and they were like, "You bringing anything back with you?" And he's like, "Nothing but a bunch of sore muscles." And they were
Yep.
like,
Nope.
"All right." Like,
pull over.
It's like that's the ultimate. Like, maybe the joke wasn't good enough. Like,
No,
what
no,
do you-
no.
Do you think?
Any
do you think
joke.
if it was a good joke?
Any joke, I think you're getting yanked.
You think it's all jokes?
Is
or
it
like,
because jokes,
good jokes?
indicate that you're uncomfortable?
I think it's jokes that indicate you're uncomfortable or they indicate that you're not taking seriously. They're
Oh,
authority
okay.
who have the ability to boo-foo you
That's
at
a
any
good point.
moment. And it's like they're not there for the play. Don't forget, they're at work. Imagine if actually, maybe this is a good thing for a future off-topic episode, talking to people that are at work. And like there's times where you're like, oh yeah, like they're really funny. Yeah. And then I've seen employees like at the grocery store have some fucking dingbat try to like brighten their day up. And they're like, yeah. And then the person leaves and like, haha, have a go.
Yeah.
And then, like, let's just fucking quit with, like, and I say this on a comedy podcast, like, everyone thinks they're a comedian. Everyone thinks, like, dad jokes are cool now, so they can be like, oh, yeah.
They just kind of make you a little uncomfortable. You're like,
Well, it's also just, like, this goofy, I'm going to sound like the crankiest old man right now. It's, like, this goofy shit that, like, we all think we need to do. Where it's, like, I don't know if I talked about this on the show before, but Jules has a bad habit of, like, getting in those conversations with people, and it never goes well. It's always like, oh, hey, how's it going? I'm tired. Wish I wasn't here. It's like, well, your shift ends. This is Jules trying to be like positive. Well, at least, hopefully you get off soon. Just showed up. And you're like, fuck. Like, God, I can't win right now. And then you have someone that's like ringing up your groceries telling you how fucking miserable they are to be at work. And I'm like, I get it. But
man, I get caught in those conversations all the time. Where I'm just like, oh, why did I open that can of worms?
Here's my recommendations. 2 of them. 1, just don't do the jokes.
Yeah.
You got to cut the jokes out. You just got to be like, yep. My biggest joke that I do now, it's like, hey, did you find everything you need? And I'm like, everything and more.
Yes.
Go ahead. And then the flip side is, like, we've talked about this before, the Dutch Brothers effect, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pulling in at Dutch Brothers, and they're just like, hey, got any fun plans for the weekend? Single word answers kills that shit immediately. So
Just be like, nah.
You got any big plans for the day? I'm going to drink this coffee. I'm going to go home. Got any other quizzes for me there?
Yeah.
Like, champ? It sucks because, like, I guess I'm being an asshole. But, like, there's times where I'm like, yo, I'd rather be an asshole and not have this conversation.
So
yeah,
I worked at a coffee shop, and that was part of, we were supposed to do that kind of shit.
That's great.
yeah.
And
They always
I
encouraged
remember
us to do that at the fly shop too.
there
It's
were-
like, how's it going? How's your day going? What are you guys up to? Like,
Did you do it?
yeah,
You did it?
I hated.
Did
doing
you
it,
ever
but yeah.
have a situation where you had to put your foot, like, you couldn't put your foot further in your mouth, or is that more just a Bjorn thing?
Knowing you and knowing me, and I think if you had worked at the fly shop, you would have put your foot further in your mouth than I put my
Like,
foot.
just like, ah.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy came through, and I did the, like, oh, you got any fun plans for this weekend? And he was like, yeah, I'm getting my motorcycle endorsement. And I was like, and I don't remember what exactly I said.
You're
but
like,
it was
those things are dangerous. You're going to
No.
die.
It's just like my dad died on one last week.
I did that more concisely. I said, I hope you're an organ donor. And then I was like, oh, no.
That's a great fucking joke.
That's the worst thing to say to somebody.
But that's so funny though.
Now this is where I'm going to go back
He's
on this
got
shit.
a great story now where
He
he's just like, this
his
guy's a
face,
savage.
Everything, like all the excitement just like lost. And I was like, oh, no.
My immediate response in my brain was like, I hope you can pay your bills without this fucking tip, you dickhead. Like, what in the world
Why
compelled you?
As
So,
I said it,
what kind
I
of
was
tip
like, you
did you receive on that
dumbass.
order?
Oh, none. I never got a tip.
Oh,
that was the
okay.
thing about the coffee shop. Everyone was like, oh, I pay with card and there's no tip line.
Yeah,
so we're
they
never
didn't.
gonna pay you.
They
and we're
didn't
getting out
have
of
the little
habit.
iPad yet at that one.
Not yet.
Starbucks
Never.
doesn't have it
Still
still.
doesn't.
Some do.
Like
Some
like
if-
local coffee shops all have the little
You're
thing.
talking about the flip shit. Starbucks will ask for a tip if you pay with a card on their little like digital
They
reader.
can now.
No,
Oh,
I've
'cause we couldn't. we
I've
couldn't-
done
been to
that within
locations
the
that have.
last
I think it's a store by store
month.
thing.
Yeah, my store
It wa-
doesn't do it. They
Anyways,
don't
we
offer
couldn't
you
we
the
couldn't receive
opportunity.
tips, and I remember that was one of the things about that store when I was just like, oh wow, they do this kind of volume, we're gonna get this kind of tips, because I worked at small shops, and it was like when we did that volume, you got. I mean, like in college, I would walk away with like $60 to $100 in tips from a morning every single morning that I worked, splitting that 5 ways. And then I worked at a corporate store where there was no tip line on the credit card. And we were doing, because I counted the tills at the end of the day,
You guys were doing like 10 times the
5
business.
times the business.
Yeah.
And we would get a total of maybe $60 that would be split between like 8 people. So I would walk away with like $15. And I remember that they were like, yeah, so we pay minimum wage because you get tips. And it was like, this is bullshit.
You want me to kill the magic for you?
What?
You're not going to like it. A lot of those places don't let you get tips like that because if you make more money, you have an easier ability to quit that job when you're fed up with the bullshit.
Which job? Wait, which one?
You're like caribou job where it's like, oh yeah, we don't have tips on it. We don't have to go any more in depth on this, but
No,
it's like
I
you
know.
make too much money and then you're like, oh, I fucking hate this job and I have $5,000 in my bank account. I quit. Or I hate this job. I need to pay rent this month.
Oh, like they
not
keep
gonna
it.
quit.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, the thing I hated about that job at the end of the day, and I'll just be real fast on this, is just like, because I worked at training stores, and I was sort of a training manager at one point, and it was just like the constant like revolving door of employees. It broke my heart because I would spend all this time training somebody, getting them ready, and then they would just quit immediately as soon as they got a different job. Like I hated it. Like, and it was always the best people.
Yeah.
Do I like that beer?
Yeah, what do you think of that beer? Because I think I drank one on the pod and didn't really talk about it. It's
Okay.
called Powder Hound. It's from Montana. It's like an IPA.
It says no friends on a pow day.
It sticks with the snow theme
Did you
that
ever
we.
prescribe to that? We'll tangent real
Pow
quick.
day. Let's
Yeah.
talk about a pow day.
Well, no,
Oh.
but I mean specifically that whole mentality of like, yeah, I'm not going to wait for you. Like,
Oh, that's what that is. I was like, I don't
Yeah, that
understand
means
this.
there's no friends on a powder
is
day.
like, oh, if
Yeah.
you're lagging behind,
Oh.
I'm leaving
Fuck
because
you.
I'm trying to get freshies, bro.
No.
Yeah, I
You
never.
always wait for your
I
friends.
never
It's a
cared
safety
that
thing.
much.
So I will say this for those of you at home who maybe are not snow
Right.
sports
Thank you.
aficionados. What we're talking about is like a day at the hill where it snows a ton, riding powder's really fun, whatever, but it gets tracked out. So the pervasive mentality with a lot of people, and I think maybe this is going away, but there's always going to be powder hounds out there that are just like, nah, bro, no friends, is like you're going to ditch all the people that went to the resort with you specifically so that you individually can have one more good run. And it's
No.
just like, it's just peak dickheads. It's like, I don't value you as a friend, so I'm going to leave you behind if you slow me down at all. And it's
Yeah.
like, I knew people that were like that. I was like, all right, see you later.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that. What I
Have
would
fun
do.
dying in a tree well.
That being said, I felt like it applied more places like Bridger Bowl, like where we went to college, because it was, when I was in college, we all had a season pass. It's 15 miles away, and so if there was a dump of snow, you would only hit up like your friends who were good.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not saying you can't go to the resort with people that are reliable.
Yeah,
But I think like you are making a commitment early in the day, like because I'm the person who's like, yo, what's the rush? Like and this is part of the reason why our old boss used to say like he didn't like riding on pow days because it was just like too much bullshit.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I got to wear all this waterproof stuff. Everyone is like anxious. Everyone's like so desperate. Oh, I got to get as many runs in as possible. Blah, 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 blah. And then, like, the older that I got, the more that I was like, bro, I'm here to have a good time, not like lose my mind about somebody cutting me in line or like, oh, somebody dropped in on the thing that I wanted to hit. Like, it just made it.
Well, the beauty of a 2-foot dump is you go right next to that, there's still 2 feet of snow.
Yeah, but people are fucking nuts when it comes to that shit. I used to live in Tahoe. I went to Squaw one time, and it's like, yeah, when a 70-year-old dude edges you out in line that you've been waiting in for an hour to like get up and like be one person in front of you, I'm just like, bro, it's not that serious. Like, I know you don't have a lot of time left, but I want to make sure the last one counts. Whatever. That was one of the things that really turned me off about the whole snow sports world was like that very like, oh, we're all here to have fun and it's so social. And it's like not when you are a prick. Like,
I weirdly like caught one of those days.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, I guess it was 2019. Maybe it was 2020. I can't even remember, dude. Those years are like a blur
there's
at this point.
some years
so
that aren't.
I had a
cohesive.
pair of bearskin underwear that was coming out. It was our Ice Bear. That's actually going to be on sale right now. It's like a bear.
Oh yeah, bearskin.
Bearskin underwear.
SKN.com.
Yeah.
Use promo code size10 to get a discount. And get yourself some new skivvies. All right, back to you, Bjorn.
Back
Go to
me.
the link in the bio of the
link in bio.
YouTube video.
Yep.
There's a link directly to his website to buy them at a discount.
Yep.
They're fantastic. There's mesh under your nuts.
So we do
That's all you
have
gotta
this
say.
pair. We do have this pair. It's the Ice
Yeah.
Bear Hunter, is what it's called. It's a little bear. Ooh, are you wearing? Ooh, heck yeah! It's got the blueberries on. Are you-
Buck yeah on.
oh, really? Oh, heck yeah! We're almost sold out of that pair.
Oh wow, I should get another one.
So
I'll put mine up on StockX.
there you go. We were doing a photo shoot, and it was like I couldn't find someone, and I wanted to do skiing in them. And so we planned it like 2 or 3 weeks in advance because I had to like coordinate with my photographer, and then like I couldn't find someone that skied, so I just did it. I needed new ski pants, so I bought new ski pants that are the zip off kind,
So that you could take them off on the hill.
so I could take them off on the hill. And we randomly hit, so we were gonna go up to was it Hood Meadows or Meadows?
Meadows.
I'd never been to Meadows before, but 3 days before they closed the road because there was so much snow and they couldn't clear it for like 2 days. And then the day that we went up there, they had just cleared the road. So it was like an epic powder day because there had been nothing but snow, and then they had none of the ski areas.
Nobody
were open.
could get there.
Nobody could get there, and so like.
So were you guys stuck in traffic for like 2 hours
No,
on the
we
way
got
there?
there. He was just my friend needed to be done by a certain time.
Oh, so you went
so
really
we
early?
went super early. There was no planning of like trying to hit a powder day.
Right.
It was none of that.
You just lucked into like the
Just-
deepest day of the
just
year
nailed it. Like we
for
got
the
in-
day that you were planning to ski in
The, like-
only your underwear.
Yes.
Nice.
It was the worst day for that purpose. It was awful. It was windy. It was cold. It was actively snowing.
Yeah.
There was so much fresh snow. We couldn't, and it was busy as shit, so we couldn't find a private place. I wanted to find a place where there were no other skiers
strip
to
down.
take all of my clothes off and like ski down in just my underwear. Usually you do that on like a spring day.
Yeah.
Not like a very
Yeah, you wait till
much
like
day.
the Gaper Day at the end of the
Yes.
season,
Yes,
Yeah.
those are the days. But it was
where you
January.
wear this
I
shirt
needed
and
to-
underwear, and that's it.
It was so cold. I actually took my pants off, but I left my coat on because it was so. It was like it was.
But you
very,
got
very
some
cold.
good pictures for the website.
We got some great pictures and a couple of little videos of me just like skiing like a little part, and then I like walked back up and like did it again a couple more times, like in the woods. And honestly, what I realized is like your legs actually, like my legs were fine, even though they were completely naked. They were, I mean, they were like a little discolored, but like
Yeah.
it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I experienced all that shit that Terry's talking about, where just like people were being assholes in line, like all
whack.
of that, and I was like, ugh, I forgot about all
That's
this.
where you
stuff.
That's where you needed to be wearing your underwear.
Yeah, butt naked.
Yeah.
If you go
I
through
should've
line with
fucking
just your
hanging
underwear on,
schlong in the lift
they'll
line.
leave you alone.
Well, it's just not
Probably.
my style, but that's the only time I've ever been to Meadows is on like an epic powder day, and I didn't know where I was
Actually,
going, so I got stuck like
I've been
4
to Meadows
times.
twice,
Yeah.
but one of those times
So I
was
didn't
with
know I
my
needed
old
to start
roommate,
traversing.
and it was an epic powder day. We got up there, they'd gotten a foot overnight, and they got another foot while we were there.
Yeah.
You couldn't see. Like I was
Sounds like Mount Hood.
Yeah, I was just going down. Everything just looked white, and I was letting the Lord guide my skis. And my roommate, it was one of those where, like, I love the guy, but he was like it was like a different level of
Yeah.
thinking you're proficient at skiing or
You're about
snowboarding.
to no friends on a powder day us
Oh,
right now.
you are.
No, I didn't. I waited for him.
But in retrospect, you're like, that was a mistake.
No, it wasn't. I was fine with it.
Okay.
It was like it was just one of those things where I wished it wasn't a powder day for him because he didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he'd learned to ride as
Just
an adult
groomers. Yeah.
in Reno, like at Tahoe.
Yeah.
It was groomers.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
what he knew. He knew
Oh,
You
you
know,
just didn't
just
know what he was doing.
riding a groomer on a
He's like
snowboard.
putting his tips under the snow and like.
No, he was
tomahawking and-
snowboarding,
Oh.
and so
What?
you know, going down traverses.
Snowboarding on
and
POW
whatnot.
is incredibly difficult if you've only ever
I
rode
suppose.
groovers because
I
you
suppose.
can't use edges.
It's kind of like
Yeah,
manual.
he
you're
just
kinda,
didn't
like,
know what to
manualing
do
the
with
whole
it,
time.
and like any of the runs that were steep enough for us to have some fun,
Uh-huh.
he was terrified of because he'd never been on something like that.
Yeah.
So the last run of the day, we
suppose.
split up, and I just ripped some turns down a steep piece because it was fun to do, and then we met back up and drove home. We got a burrito and a beer and hung out for a bit, and just were like, all right, fuck this. There's a million people. That was the thing. We got stuck in traffic for fucking an
That's
hour
why
and a
I don't go
half
up anymore.
on the way up there.
I have a hard time.
And then it
going
was
up.
$80, and then every lift had like a 20 to 30 minute line, and we were just like, dude, we just spent $100 a piece at least when it's
To
all
be at,
said
like,
and done
basically Disney
to
World.
stand in line in the cold.
The winter sports industry has pushed me out of the winter sports industry. I used to snowboard, I don't know, 120, 130 days a year.
That's a lot of days.
I used to just I was a snowboard bum for, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years. And then when I moved up here, I was like, oh, yeah, dude, it's cool. I literally was talking about this today. We'll caravan up to the mountain. I got all these friends that snowboard. And I had a Meadows Pass the first year I was here. I bought a ski bowl pass one year. I didn't even pick it up.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like, it's too much of it to do.
It is. It's
Why
tough.
in the world do I want to wait in traffic for 3.5 hours to drive home?
I
Get
feel
the
like
fuck outta
in
here.
Portland, it's just too far away for me to commit
It's
to
a
a season
little
pass
far.
up there. It's an hour and a half
It's a schlep,
without
and honestly, the terrain is
traffic.
not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to bust my fucking balls to go ride dog shit snow on a flat resort.
Yeah, it's kind of mediocre terrain with wet, heavy snow. I mean,
All
we're
that-
spoiled. Me and Bjorn, at least.
All that being said,
Yeah.
when we went on your birthday,
It was fun
that
as
was
shit.
So fun.
No, ski bowl is dope if you go for the night skiing.
Well,
Don't go for the
Oh,
night
see, I'm not
skiing,
doing that shit
everybody.
either, though.
Did we go night skiing? No, we
No,
went
we
day
went during
skiing.
the day.
We
I've been
went
up
during the
there.
day. Dude, that was so
I went
fun.
up there for the night though, and that was really
Night
fun.
skiing is hella
It's
fun.
less expensive and it's less crowded.
Yeah, whatever, Terry.
I
It's
grew up night
fucking
skiing.
dope.
I was into
I've
it.
only ever done it here because I grew up where there was no
I
night
think when
skiing
it's
at
a
all.
novelty, it's super fun. If you have to do it like on a regular basis, you either turn into like those troll hugging kids in the Midwest,
Yeah,
or
right.
you stop. And like, if you want a night ski, go to Ski Bowl. Ski Bowl's just.
I know. That's
just
where I
Apers?
went.
No, that's where we went.
Oh, okay.
Ski
I thought
Bowl
you were
is the
saying-
shit,
Because
dude.
Meadows has night skiing too.
Oh no, we
and-
just went to Meadows.
Ski Bowl
'Cause it's
has some
super
great
cheap.
terrain.
Or
You
we
go up
just went
that
to-
top
sorry,
lift.
We just went to Ski Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ski Bowl is fire, dude. That's where it's at.
I mean,
What's wrong with
The
Ski
three of
Bowl?
us should go sometime.
We
It just-
should.
I just
Terry's
want
probably
a
by
night.
far the best.
Bjorn's gonna get mad about that.
I don't care.
And I will say probably
No,
not because
if
I don't
you
think I've
rode
strapped a snowboard to my
100 days a
feet.
year for more than 1 year, you're definitely miles better than me. Were you doing 100-day years?
I don't know how many, but I grew up on skis and snowboards, like going every weekend.
Right, but every weekend, you can only go so many days.
That's true.
Terry,
Bjorn has
if
a
you were doing
longer-
120 days a year,
but I've been
Bjorn
doing
has
it
a longer lifetime
since I was like, I don't know, 10.
You know what? I
You-
honestly
you've
hate
been
this
on skis
conversation
since you were,
'cause I
like,
feel like
5.
we're low key doing like the
I don't care.
I haven't snowboarded in realistically 4 or 5 years, and even before that, I didn't really snowboard for like a couple of years. Basically, since I moved to Portland, it was like maximum,
it was just too much hassle.
yeah.
Then you're like,
except
"All right,
for
the
when I
hell
was
with
living
this."
up in Govey during the summers.
But
And that was great.
See, like when
Oh, you'd go up to
so you
Timberline
moved
in
to
the
Portland
summer?
about when I pretty much quit skiing and snowboarding.
Yeah.
So
so
who knows?
I think we
don't
should
know.
go for sure.
We should
I think
go.
it'd
We're
be
ba-
fun.
We should do summer skiing at Timberline.
I
That's a good time.
not
I
summer.
honestly don't
It's
think I
fun.
can.
Spring.
It costs way too much money now.
It is
and
more expensive now.
This is gonna sound like the most like dingbat shit. I cannot divorce the last 4 years that I worked for that company from going there. I have been up there and have had a really good time during the summer, but it was because it was completely free. And like to go ride park at Timberline now, I think you have to pay something to the tune of $120 a day.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
We'll talk about this off air, but
Yeah.
like
That's insane.
and it's,
okay.
and it's I've done it, so I probably have, I don't know, 200, 300 days during the summer alone at Timberline.
Oh, wow.
I worked at that camp for a very long time,
Yeah.
and it's sick, but it's like going to the skate park and having to only stay on the sidewalk that goes around the skate park.
Yeah.
Like I can't even really probably go to the skate park right now.
I went
So,
summer skiing one time, and it was one of those things where I was like, I would do this once a year.
it's novelty.
It's so cool to
It's
be
sick.
there in the summer
What I would
and
do
ski.
Here's what I would do. I would be more into hiking to the top.
I'm down with that.
And then you can ride down. And if you do it in the right time of the year, it's mellow. You don't turn into one of those people that like gets stuck and needs mountain rescue to go up. But
Yeah, if you
no,
know
we
where
should
to
do
go, I'm down to do that.
we got spots.
Well,
we got
I think
spots.
this is a
like
good
crazy
episode.
stuff.
You want to take us
Yeah.
out, Terry?
Yeah. This is episode Off Topic here in the Size 10 studios with the Size 10 boys, Bjorn and Nick. If you like this episode, you want to hear more, we got full episodes on Wednesdays that get posted on the feed. Off Topics on Friday. You can catch those on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, along with all the audio platforms out there. We do have video on YouTube and on Spotify, so for some of the main shows, you might want to check that out if you can. Follow us on social media, Instagram and Twitter at Size10Podcast. And if you are in Portland, you want to come see some comedy, third Saturdays every month at Curious Comedy on MLK. We've got Vibe Comedy with Maricha, Jaron George, and Bjorn RG. Come on out. That'll do it for us tonight in the studio. We'll check you next time, and have a good one. Take it easy.
All right.